What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Deck Talk Podcast. And we happen to have a local guy to us that we are stoked to have on because uh, main thing is that he is now can be considered or be announced as a Bassmaster Classic qualifier. So we're stoked to be able to have him on. But first, let's take care of a little business. Um, why don't you own the night on the water, Firefly Marine carbon fiber bow and stern lights, telescoping, uh, United States Coast Guard approved, no glare, fewer bugs, crystal clear visibility for safe and epic adventures. See it all at fireflymarine.com. Use the discount code DECKTALK10 and get you a little discount on top of that. Check out all their stuff that they have with the navigational lights, the new torch series that goes on your power poles, and check them out. And again, use Deck Talk 10. But guys, if you don't know, I'm Colin Burnett.
And I'm Pappy J, and today we're gonna start off with a salute to Valor. Our sponsor to the salute to Valor is Waze Energy Drink. I always remember, if you feeling some type of way, just grab you a Waze and it'll help you along the way. Waze Energy Drink. Boy, do we got a good one for you tonight here on our salute to Valor. It is Staff Sergeant First Class Sergeant First Class William Willis. He's a retired U.S. Army. He's been in. He retired at 24 years. He was a 13 Foxtrot forward observer. He is a 100% disabled veteran. He has 8 medals. He has a non-commissioned. He's a non-commissioned officer school ribbon with numeral 3. He was overseas. I'm sorry, overseas service ribbon for device with device air assault badge and U.S. Army recruiter badge, foreign awards, German Army weapons qualification. His other units that he served in was 4 other units, as well as First Infantry Division, First Armored Division, 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment, and 187th Infantry Regiment. We salute you, Sergeant Willis, and man, what a rap sheet! This cat, he, I don't think he left anything behind there.
Uh,
But we just want to thank you because without him and all our men and women in uniform, this is not even possible for any of us. So again,
yeah,
we thank all our men and women out there in uniform.
yeah. And so, especially, it's an honor to be able to share the episode and stuff and podcasts with Dillon and Pappy, with both of them being veterans themselves. So thank you guys for your time and service that you have done for this country. But let's get this thing rolling. You ready, Pappy?
Hi, I'm ready.
All right.
Excuse me.
You gonna ask?
Yeah, yeah, oh
All right.
yeah. I'm a little lag behind. I fell asleep on the couch and
He's
uh,
still waking up.
yeah, I'm still trying to wake up. Colin worked me. He worked me pretty hard yesterday, so out on the road throwing little Davies. But Dylan, man, it's a great honor. I thank you for being on the podcast with us today. And but you went wire to wire and you crushed it on the Upper Chesapeake Bay with 62 pounds, 13 ounces total. Can you walk us through that final day when you had to make that clutch move to a new spot and what was going through your head when that first big one hit?
Yeah, absolutely. Oof, man, it still definitely still brings chills for sure. But day day one, day two, um, I had an area that a lot of people have found, and after catching a big bag there, day one, I did a loop around the flat, and nobody was on my other big fish area. So I decided not to be seen there, uh, not to fish it, because I thought I had a good enough bag to be doing really well, maybe, sitting in the top 10. Then day two, I went back to that same area that the crowd was in, and I was lucky enough to catch another good bag. So about noon or 1 o'clock, I did my loop again, and I noticed not a single boat was still in that spot. Um, so I decided once again not to go there because I felt like I was going to be in the lead by even more. So on day three, I went back to the area that all the boats were at. I just wanted to see if I could get just one or two more big ones. It didn't happen. The tides were all wrong. Um, and once I pulled up to that area, um, it's been untouched all week. And I knew if I could just get one single bite, then I could spend my whole day there because I knew what was there. And once I got that first bite, I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to be a good day, and it was.
So
But
is it a different feeling? I mean, when you go wire to wire like that, is the pressure still on, or would you rather have a closer tournament to where you kind of feel where you're staying sharp on your toes and stuff? Do
oh
you rather prefer to have a closer tournament or to have that wire to wire like that?
no, definitely that wire to wire. I was still the nerves were going crazy, and every fish that I put in the box, I'm like, you're doing math all day in your head as you're fishing. You're like,
Right,
I got 15 pounds, so he needs 20. Well, that's super doable. And then once you reach 20, then you're like, well, he could have, 27, so I need, 23. And you're just going, and it just makes you just, as soon as you keep leveling up, you're like, well, if I'm catching this, then he's definitely catching this.
Yeah.
And I mean, every time I got to 15 to 17 to 18, then to
right.
20, I was like, I got to catch more, like, got to catch more. So you're just moving super fast. It's so much fun.
So how do
So
you?
that head game really starts in then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So does like your past? You are a guide on Chickamauga and Nickajack. Um, has that helped? Because I've been on Chickamauga and I've been at places, and you come right by me, and we fish right by each other, but you make a decision to. Uh, Probably one of the fastest of trying to move out that I have seen, like other anglers and stuff do. Does your time and experience with trying to keep clients on fish and good quality fish, does that help you to kind of pull that trigger when it's tournament time and maybe that bite's not quite what you expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being a guide, definitely. And I mean, that just comes down to time on the water.
Right,
And just being able to follow fish attitude and the moods of the fish. Um, But if I'm in an area and it's just not happening, then it's definitely time to move. But with clients, like, you're able to really key in on what happens when you really really slow down in an area and pick an area apart versus like the running and gunning type of deal.
right,
And there's certain tournaments where I end up running and gunning, but the tournaments that I do really, really, really well in is when I can just get in one area and just really pick it apart because a lot of guiding is that. So it prepares me for looking for every single little nuance in every creek I'm in,
right,
every spot I'm in.
right.
Right. Yeah.
And just
So
pick it.
you're a former Army National Guard artillery officer turned full time guide and pro angler.
Yep.
And thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
And how did those military years shape your approach to the grind of the Bassmaster Opens?
Yeah. Well, a great example is this past week down in Florida. I had some mishaps with housing. It was no big deal. Everyone was my family and girlfriend and everything. Was all stressed out. Like, you're gonna have nowhere to stay. Blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I'll just get a campground and sleep in my truck for the whole week. I'm like, no, but it's going to be cold. Well, the military, they would point at a spot in the ground and say, well, that looks like a good spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Anything is better than that. I slept great all week, even though I spent
Mm.
7 days in my truck. But in my mind, I was, fortunate to have a truck with heat and somewhere comfortable to lay. I had blankets, and in the military, it was just lay down your uniform. And I mean, my first weekend, my very first week, it was with an infantry unit, and we were out doing 24-hour ops, and it started snowing out, and we set up our security, and I'm lowest man on the totem pole, so I'm up all night, and we're trying to dig our holes, but the ground was frozen.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 5 nights out there, and all I had was just my short sleeve T-shirt and my uniform, and that is it for 5 straight days.
Oh,
And there was
wow.
snow on the ground, and the ground was frozen. So I didn't have any gear yet. I had zero gear to my name
Yeah.
yet. I was just in. So people are bringing stuff over to me and letting me wear some stuff and warm up, but like just nights like that just prepare you for always being comfortable and always being positive.
That's one thing, that is one thing. You learn to adapt and overcome very
Exactly.
quickly. And
Yeah,
you keep stress at a very minimum while you're
exactly.
still, it's control chaos.
Yep.
It's definitely control chaos. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's not been in the military, but that's kind of like when we're out on the truck, uh, a lot of times when in a stressful event, it seems like I operate a lot more or I operate a lot better under
Yeah.
stressful events. I don't, I might get aggravated, but in the same sense, I'm just like, we'll find a way. It's just a matter of
Absolutely.
time and what we got to do, So it's kind of cool to hear
That,
that, that we can relate to that. That's kind of cool. I like it.
now, can you, Dylan? I know, like if I'm driving the truck and stuff, and like we're heading back, or we're heading to a next stop. Now, Pappy over here, Dylan, he says it's because he was in the military. He can take a nap in a drop of a hat. Are you the same way?
Absolutely. Anywhere you put me, if I have a chance to sleep, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm over there and I'm trying to carry on a conversation, and next thing I know, I have to reach over and smack him or something, and be like, "Hey," and
Oh,
he's like,
absolutely.
"So,"
100%.
but
Yeah,
so,
that's just one of the things, though. I says, it's like Dylan said earlier. You kind of pick a spot and you claim it and you go to sleep, or you lean up against a buddy's back and you go to sleep. I mean, it's just one of them things. And when you're in the military, you sleep when you can because there's
Exactly.
sometimes you don't have a whole lot of opportunities to take a nap.
No.
It's long days, early mornings, and lots
Long.
of yes, lots of rucking and kicking rocks and hoofing, and it's so hey, when they say break, you take a nap.
yeah.
Yep.
So so let's talk about the classic a little bit.
Yeah.
And what is your expectations? I mean, because it's the Tennessee River, and you have fished up there. You know the water. It's not home waters, but you know the waters.
Yep.
So, what is your expectations going in? Are you going to be looking for brown fish? Are you going to be looking for green fish or mixture? And is the weather going to play much effect on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, once I made the classic, I ventured up to Fort Loudon and Tellico for pre-practice while we were all allowed to. And I got probably 10, 12 days of pre-practice up there, which was probably a little bit more than a lot of the people. There were
Right,
there were there were some guys there for a whole month. I just couldn't take that time off work,
right,
but I definitely got a good amount of time on Tellico and Loudon, and I can see the weather definitely. The weather kind of choosing what I'm going to do.
right,
That time of year, we get a lot of floods, we get a lot of rain. And if something like that happens, then it's going to completely change the game because, this classic forward facing sonar is allowed.
right,
Um, so, if we don't have that rain, and those floods, then I'll definitely be utilizing my forward facing sonar in some deeper water, going after smallmouth with a largemouth mixed in here and there. But if we do have those floods, then that's where the fun really comes in. That will be your shallow water cranking guys, chatterbait, big spinner bait,
right.
um, and everybody will just be catching a ton of fish if that happens. So I would love to see that happen. I think that will take some people kind of out of the mix and then put other people really, really far up there.
Right.
So I would love to see, 3, 4 inches of rain right before the event.
Yeah. Well, like the last time it was in Knoxville, like they had like 60, 65-degree weather during practice.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the lights came on and it was blast off time, I think that morning of the blast off was like 34 degrees or something like that. It was
Yep.
a total flip, and it never really got warm. It rained on them. And
Yep.
so each day was a different uh, obstacle that they had to overcome.
Yeah.
And with the cold weather, then it went to chocolate milk, flooded waters,
Yep.
and when all that happened, I mean, I was really surprised to see that Gussie was able to stay in one location and be able to catch all. I mean, he
There's a
proved that you
big there's a big population of fish on that body. You're going to see this year. I don't know what changed or what happened, but you're going to see this year that I think Tennessee started doing a really, really good job of the stocking and population of those two lakes.
right.
So you're going to see weights this year that are going to kind of blow everybody's minds.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
that's one
Very
thing
good.
that um, I really enjoyed seeing the Classic be won with smallmouth. I mean,
Me
because
too.
nobody who would have ever thought, that
Yeah.
smallmouth would win a Classic, and which Gussie, I mean, he tried to hand it off to it.
Yeah.
To was it Brandon Card, I think, but with only coming in with 3 fish, but I think if we get that rain and it's also like kind of a warm pattern
Yeah.
that I mean that shallow water bite may be a big deal though.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, I learned right away fishing up there that even in the a week of 20-degree weather, we were still catching really, really big smallmouth in 2 feet of water.
Man. Oh
Yeah,
man.
really. And I
Man.
mean, the last week of or the last weekend of pre-practice, the whole Bassmaster Classic field was there. Like I put my boat in next to, I mean, you name it, they
They
were
were
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. But that weekend there was uh, an 8-pounder caught, a 9-pounder caught, and a 10-pounder caught
Oh,
Man.
wow.
that weekend. Like
Goodness
That's
there's,
gracious.
crazy.
it's gonna
Now,
it's gonna be pretty wild.
So, um, with that, what are your expectations? I mean, because I mean, you've been to the classic and stuff like that, as a viewer, not
Yeah.
as an angler. But um, what do you think that you're going to feel like? Because we've done media and stuff for bass. This will be our fifth classic that we've gone to, and being backstage and seeing that curtain open and seeing the crowd and having the watch, and we're not even the angler. I mean, it's one of those that gives us butterflies just because we know what that moment means.
Yeah.
And how hard you had to work to be able to get. So what is when that first time that those curtains open and they holler out Dillon, what do you think is going to go through your mind? Do you think that you'll even hear it, or do you think that it's just going to kind of be just overwhelming?
Oh no, it's definitely going to be overwhelming and just awesome. My whole family is flying down for the event. I have a very large family back home in Rhode Island, so they're all going to be out there in the crowd, and it's just always been a dream. I've talked about it all through elementary school, middle school, high school. So for me to finally be there will be kind of full circle. And for me personally, it's just going to be just a mindset of getting back there, just
Yeah,
always getting back there.
yeah. And so,
So going off of that, I mean, growing up in Rhode Island, you've been casting from bridges,
Yep.
waiting on the school bus, and then fast forwarding it to the major opens, and does it still feel surreal, or has it been building for years on that?
Oh no, it's definitely been building. Every tournament still brings me back to being a little kid on that bridge. Uh, but every big fish catch that you get and you put in that box, you're like, is this the one that brings you to the classic?
Yeah,
And
right.
yeah,
it's because I mean it's little moments like that, especially um, in these big tournaments. A lot of times, if you catch one big one, you're going to catch another one.
right,
So sometimes it's just a little minor decision that you make, and then it happens, and then you put a big one in the box, and then it's like boom, boom, boom. And when they say like when it's your time, it's your time. I've always thought about that, and I was like, what does that mean, right? Like,
right,
Right.
how do you know when it's your like? I don't get it. And then at Chesapeake, like, you know, every big fish that went in the boat, everything went perfectly right. And then, to have my big fish spot be able to save it for the third day, that never happens.
no, no,
Usually
Right.
your big fish spot, like you're trying to save it, and then an hour into day one, you're like, I gotta go over there.
right,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
And then it gets burned out by the time you
yeah,
really need it.
yeah, exactly. And then at least five boats on. So the saying of when it's your time, it's your time. You can't do anything wrong. It's definitely like I understood it then. Like it,
Yeah,
it was everything was exact. Like I went to bed at night. I had my game plan, and the next day on the water, it was boom, 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 like exactly how I had it pictured in my head, which
yeah.
Mm,
never happens bass fishing.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, because there's always some kind of element of surprise that's going to happen.
Exactly.
And I mean, because um, even like with guiding and stuff with you, that you have a game plan, of course, and then
Right.
I mean, and with being on the Tennessee River, one day they could start pulling the current at 10 a.m. Well, the next day they might do it at lunchtime, and so there's
Exactly.
always different variables that's out of your control.
Yeah.
And to be able to have it, and then like on Chesapeake, you was even talking about like the title. and stuff. I
Yep.
mean, because that's a beast in itself in any kind of title. And
Yeah, that was wild. That was
so
so
yeah,
crazy.
and that's one thing. Like I fished a tidal fishery once, um, and if I wasn't with somebody, I would have kept on. We were getting hit and catching fish, and then just out of the blue, the guy was like, "Hey, we got to get out of here." And I would have kept on fishing, and he's like, "If we would have been there another 15, 20 minutes, we probably would have got stuck."
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but but yeah, what what has been your favorite moment fishing? It could even be from guiding, um, taking the kiddos out and stuff like that, or even going professionally wise. What has been your favorite moment fishing?
Favorite moment fishing. Yep. Last year, or no, it was the year before. I weighed in 30 and a half or 31 and a half pounds on Chickamauga. And I didn't know my kids were going to be there. Their dad, their stepdad, um, showed up and brought them, and they were on stage waiting for me
Oh
Oh, that's awesome.
when I walked up to weigh my big bag. So that was weighing that bag in with them and having Remy hold one of the 8 pounders was pretty special for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what when you're out guiding and stuff, is does it make like going out because it's a grind. People think that with the guides and stuff, they're just going out there, they're fishing every day, and they've got the best life, But um, is does it make it like when you have a kid on the boat and they catch their PB, even if it's a 4 pounder and it's their
Yeah,
PB,
best
does
feeling in
that
the world.
that's what I was about to say. Does that make like all the hard, long
Oh yeah,
days out in the sun, the cold, the rain,
yeah,
and it makes it, doesn't it?
yeah. It does. It makes it. That's my favorite part about guiding. I wish every single day of guiding was like that, but it's not. But the flip side of guiding, like once it's tournament time, then it's my time, right?
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
so it's like once I'm guiding I just came back from Florida on Sunday and jumped right into guiding on Monday and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, guide, and then I leave for Texas next week. So it's like you're gonna take your guide person out this week and for next week and make sure your clients have a great time, catch fish, hopefully break a PB. But then when it comes to tournament time, then it's like, all right, my stress is actually now gone.
yeah,
Mhm.
My stress level is way down, even though I'm fishing a giant event. And I think that is what makes me a little bit better tournament fisherman.
yeah. I totally
Yeah,
agree. Totally
yeah.
agree.
I do too. And then and kind of like we know you run talk and tackle on Lake Chickamauga as a guide, and but how do you balance guiding the clients and prepping for opens and chasing the classic dreams without being burnt out?
Man, some nights or some mornings I wake up and you're like, oh man, this is my 48th day waking up at 4:30. And you're like, oh, you're just dragging, and then all of a sudden you get to the lake and you're like, let's go. Like I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
be anywhere else. It's just getting to the boat ramp. And
right, right.
Yeah,
sometimes getting to the boat ramp is a little bit of a drag and a little bit of a struggle. But once you're at the boat ramp and the sun, is still hasn't risen yet, then it's like a brand new day every single day. Um, And honestly, people ask me that all the time, and my answer to them is I don't think I'll ever get burnt out.
Yeah.
I think tournament fishing has helped me a lot because uh, just experiencing new states, new bodies of water. Like my
Right.
long drives, like next week on Thursday, I'll leave for whatever 13-hour drive. But that whole time, you're like, I just can't wait to get there and see what it looks like.
Mm.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But no, I truly do, and um, a lot of people do get burnt out. Being a guide now for I don't know 6, 7, 8 years, I've seen at least one or two full time guides come into the picture every single year, every one of those years. And still to this day, it's just me, Tanner, Billy Wheat,
Yeah.
with Rip Rap up in Dayton. And right now, I think that's really the only full time guides on the lake.
Yeah.
Jacob Fouts and Cole, or Jacob Fouts does some. Um,
Yeah.
Park
But he
does,
does. He comes from up towards Knoxville area too, though. I
yeah,
think he guides on Watts Bar a lot too. Jacob
yeah,
Faust, right?
yeah.
So,
So
um,
it's just definitely see him, come and go, and it's not built for everybody. You're out there all the time.
yeah. Well, and you have to be able to stay on top of it
Oh,
and to
especially
be
on this
able,
body of water.
right. Now,
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the wishing I was fishing, which is the your charter service, and I want to talk about talk and tackle because while you and Tanner are out on the water, Greg does one heck of a job about. I mean, I tell everybody like he's like an encyclopedia
Oh yeah,
of just knowledge and how he just keeps everything running. And then when I've been in there multiple times and seen you come in, and as soon as you get in, that you kind of chit chat for a minute, but as you're talking, I mean, you're stocking baits back up, you're getting everything ready, and Tanner does the exact same thing. And how does that camaraderie between y'all be able to work so well? Because y'all, with all that, I mean, because y'all do something that a lot of people don't. Is, and when I say that is because anybody can come into the store or comment on your videos, and you will break down whatever to where, because one, you're, I mean, y'all are in the business to be able to sell baits, but you're
yeah,
not going to sell, you don't want to sell baits just to sell baits. You're
no,
putting people actually on baits that you're actually taking out. I've seen it to where you done a video while I was there, and then you took those exact same baits and then took them right into your boat because you're like, I'm going to need these tomorrow. So,
yep,
um, because, and that's one thing I really enjoy watching y'all's videos and the updates and stuff that y'all do is you're there to help even the just the average weekend
yeah,
angler to be able to catch fish.
yeah, absolutely. That's always been our goal of starting Talk and Tackle. That was our motto was no secrets. And that just grew into something that we just want to share to everybody and
Right.
just hopefully catch more fish, because if you catch more fish you go through more baits, so you buy more baits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's what it comes down to. And we just really enjoy helping everybody out, and it's a group effort. Greg, knowing every single bait and every single manufacturer and every single color and every single, you we're actually going to start a game here soon. It's going to be bait bingo, where you come into the shop and we're going to have bingo cards and stuff, and it's going to basically be try to beat Greg. um,
I don't know. I don't know anybody that could.
I know
Now
it's going to be
now
tough.
now Caleb might give him a little run for the money for a
One,
little bit. Yeah.
one.
But he I've never seen anybody because
No, it's
that,
insane.
yeah. So,
He'll
but
tell you. You'll show him a bait. He'll tell you where it was made, how much it weighs, how long it is, what color it is, what brand it is, and you're
that,
like, what? And
yeah.
where to buy
Yeah.
it?
Mm. So,
So that's
but
what makes our shop, is so good. Is having Greg behind the computer and making our orders.
right. But and also y'all have a lodge there as well.
Yep.
So can you kind of talk about the lodge as well, to where I mean somebody's wanting to hit Chickamauga, and I mean right in one area you can get your baits, and if you need to talk to somebody, you can talk, and then I mean if they want a guide, they can hook up with y'all there with as having a place to stay.
Yeah. So we have three rooms. It kind of works as an Airbnb. You go on talkandtackle.com, you book your room, and then we email you a code, and that gets you in the front door, or the side door, I should say. Gets you in the side door, gets you into your room. And then when we open in the morning, you can just open your door and walk downstairs and walk right into the bait shop. And all of us guides are there every morning. Usually it's me, Tanner, Caleb. Um, Paul Johnson was there this morning, or a lot of mornings. So it's usually all of us just kind of going over our game plans for the day, and everyone that's staying there can come down into we have a common area,
All right.
where we all have our rods in there every morning. We're rigging our rods. We're talking about what we're going to hit that day, what we're going to target, and the people that are staying there can just kind of overhear us and ask questions, and we'll put them in the right areas to have a good day of fishing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's three bedrooms. There's two beds in each room, refrigerator, TV, full bathroom, all the channels on all the TVs. Mini split in each room so you can have your heat and your air. Then we got the garages. You can put your boats in, lock them up, secured. Um, it's pretty good.
And about a mile from the ramp.
Yeah, and a mile from the ramp. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's not bad.
but
We have a question. Stephen Sturgeon, he said, is there a bait or technique that you do not like to talk about?
Not really. I mean, I would say a lot of people would say they have some secret minnow deal with the forward facing sonar. I don't. I throw a minnow a lot when we're allowed to or when I need to. But my biggest moneymaker for the last 10 years of living here has always just been a chatterbait, and just in grass. I'm a big grass fisherman, chatterbait, rattle trap, dragon and old monster, stuff like that. But I would say technique. No, I pretty much talk about everything.
yeah, that's one thing that what I was kind of hitting on earlier. That I mean, they're an open book, and if you have any questions, like I just got there's one over here. It says, "What is your forward facing spinning rod that you throw a minnow on? What do you use?"
Yeah, so I have a 702 Champion XP Dobbins rod for all my smaller minnows, 2 and 3 inch minnows, and then I just move up from there. So then I have a 703, so that's a 7 foot 3 power for all like my 4, 5, and 5.5 in. There's a bunch of like 5.3, 5.5, 5.75. Inch minnows, and then I have a 704, so 7 foot 4 power. You're basically just going from medium light all the way up to heavy, and those are my 5 3/4 all the way up to 7 inch minnows.
Now, when you're throwing the minnows, do you want more of a fast tip or a moderate tip on it?
No, you want a fast tip. That way, the more that you're shaking it, the more that rod tip's moving, and the more roll you have on your minnow.
Right.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
with living in Chattanooga and stuff like that, we called Nickajack, the hidden gem.
Oh yeah.
for the longest time. Then the Bass Pro Tour come last spring and kind of unfairly treated all the local people here because they showed what the north part of Nickajack can do and then what the south part can do. Have you seen more traffic wise on Nickajack because of that?
No. I mean, I guided down there a ton this fall because we don't have any grass on Chickamauga anymore. Um, And I mean, Monday to Friday, might see, 2 or 3 boats every day. It
Right,
was just insane, amazing. On the weekends, maybe a little bit more traffic. Um, but I think it was, all those guys, they practiced on Chickamauga as hard as they could to make it to that final day on Nickajack.
right,
Um, so I think that was, if it would have been flip flopped, then I think that would have happened. I think if
yeah,
Nickajack was first and they put a bunch of practice into Nickajack, they would have really showed what Nickajack can do.
right,
But
Mm-hmm.
because they really, 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 really struggled down there, I think that worked out into our advantage because most of
right,
those guys didn't even practice down there. They were fully
right,
focused on Chickamauga because if you make it on Chickamauga, then well, you're on the final day.
right,
So, who cares what happens?
right.
Um, so that definitely worked out in our favor.
Right. Now, Wheeler during that tournament threw a scrounger head.
Yep.
Now, do you throw a scrounger head? And if so, do you throw it on Chickamauga on like the ledges and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A hog farmer scrounger head. Actually, one of my most viewed videos on my YouTube channel was down in Gunnersville. I started my tournament off in the first like 5 minutes throwing a scrounger head with a 7.2 echo, cast echo on the back, and my
Right.
first fish of the day was a 6.8. And that's a good way to start a
That's
tournament.
good. That's a good way to
Mm-hmm.
open the
Yeah.
box up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I love throwing a scrounger head. Not so much up here on Chickamauga, just because the fish are so darn smart now. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of your best fishermen in the world come from this lake, is because if you can figure out these fish and consistently
Yeah.
catch good fish on Lake Chickamauga, you can pretty much take that knowledge and apply it across the whole country.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Well, because there's certain. I mean, you're going to have the current, but then you can also pull off into the sloughs and
yeah,
not. I mean, every slough is totally different to where, like, let's say for instance, Harrison Bay. If you want to fish some ledges, you got some ledges and stuff. And then
yeah,
if you want to fish shallow, you can fish deep in Harrison Bay.
yeah.
You can
So,
kind of be able to learn a lot, even if you put in Harrison Bay and you just stay in Harrison Bay. You can learn a lot. And which I did that when the gas prices went through the roof, and we're
yeah,
like, I'm not going to be burning any kind of gas, so I'd plug the boat up, make sure I have a full charge, and I would just stay there in Harrison Bay and just kind of broke down Harrison Bay.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so um,
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you. I mean,
And you can
uh,
learn all the light line, very, very finesse tactics here, and then you can jump from throwing a 2-inch bait to throwing a 8-inch glide bait
right,
and still catch fish.
Yeah.
And that's what, being able to go from that to that,
yeah,
you get to learn everything in between. Then you put current in the mix, and then you put ledges in the mix, and then you put grass in the mix, and then you put stumps and shell bars, and it's just an all around perfect place to learn how to be a very versatile fisherman.
right. Now, do you think, um, that with MLF, Bass Pro Tour, and Bass putting limits on forward facing sonar, um, do you think that's going to like hinder some of the uh, younger anglers that's fishing in those tournaments to where like people like us, we grew up without it. So I mean, it just kind of comes second nature to be able to go beat the banks and be able to find what we needed to find, to where they've kind of grown up in the forward facing light.
So I definitely think that there are a few people that it hurts and hinders. And I mean like a very few of them, because my take on it is to really understand live scope and to utilize it at its highest potential. You have to know how to figure the fish out, read the fish, know their patterns, know where they should be, know
Right,
what they're eating, and then you add live scope to. That's what makes Jacob Wheeler the perfect specimen, or Bank Shaw.
right,
Um, they dominated before live scope,
right,
and then live scope was just another tool to them. So
Mm.
people that
yeah,
have that kind of background, that you know understand fish behavior and understand patterns, and then you put live scope in their hands, and those are the ones that are going to excel. And I don't think you make it to like the Bass Opens or the MLF, pros. I don't think you make it there on strictly just live scope.
right. And I totally agree because I think because we hear a lot that I mean, if it wasn't for forward facing sonar, these young kids they couldn't do anything. But I mean, you named a young gentleman with Banks Shaw. I mean, he's a hammer, and
Yeah.
he he's going to take a lot of people's money, and
Oh
so
yeah,
he already has. I mean, everywhere that he goes, he's. I mean, that's what he
oh yeah.
does.
We were
Um,
talking last week, everyone at the tackle shop, and they were like, the world doesn't understand what's about to happen. And we'll joke with them. I'll have them over my house and stuff for fires and parties and stuff at my house, and we'll joke with him that he's about to change the fishing world. And
yeah,
sure enough, he's about
yeah.
to.
Well, I mean, and look, because how many people, especially at a young age, that he is, I mean, he the first 2 days there on Gunnersville, I mean, he took a lead, and then he was right in contentions, the first, second place, and then that third day, his second or third cast, he catches a decent fish, and then you don't see him on camera for about 2 hours, and you're
Yep,
like, what in the world's going on? And
he was on land.
yeah, yeah, he. I mean, how many people, even not? I mean, even just the veterans and stuff that's in there. If they would have had a fire on their boat, how many people would have spun out to
Oh
where
yeah, 100.
he
Especially
he's
knowing the spot he was in, knowing what he was around, like that
yeah,
has to be. He loved Drew Gill to death. We fished a bunch of tournaments together, but I think Drew even knew, like,
yeah,
if,
that was a godsend for Drew.
if that didn't happen, because I mean, on day one, like Banks and Drew come over and they're fishing side by side, and Drew Gill looks up and goes, "Banks is putting on a show right now."
Yeah,
And you were talking
yeah,
about Drew Gill, probably the best live scoper on planet
oh yeah,
Earth. And it was just so funny to hear him say that.
yeah, and especially, I mean, I mean, again, of how young Banks is and the knowledge of how fast he's picked things up.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, he
mean,
was here walking when I first moved here. I remember talking to him at Harrison Bay on the bank. His grandfather would drop him off, and because I used to put in Harrison Bay when I lived over at Highway 58, and he would just walk the bank, just
yeah.
walk the bank and I would put in at daylight and pull off at sunset, still just walking the bank. It's like I completely remember him doing that.
So, what are you going to have to do, kind of, to get off of or trying to get back onto the classic? Because it's such an accomplishment, just to be able to get to the classic. And so, what are you going to have to do to make sure that years to come that you're still uh, going to the classic?
Yeah, I just got to keep trying, and it's a big stressor. Definitely, putting all that money forward and just hoping that you're going to make it back. But you just kind of, for me, just constantly going to work.
Right,
I just made a good check, but when you get home, there's no time to mess around. You
right,
get that good check on Sunday, you go back to work on Monday, and as long as you can do that, you can keep doing that,
yeah,
and just staying good with my sponsors. They help me out and pay a ton of my entry fees. Without them, this is not possible. So just continuing to be just a good person and just you know, trying to help out my sponsors as best as I can, trying to get more sponsors so I don't have to, the Waymaster um, on Saturday or on Friday, um, I dumped my fish in the basket, and he looked at my fish. He said, "Damn, that's a paycheck." He said, "What are you going to do with all that money?" And I said, "Well, my mortgage is due tomorrow, and I got nothing right." And he just started laughing, and same thing. My first one last year on Clark's Hill, one of the pros that was standing in front of me said, he said on stage, he said, "The guy that's behind me, I thought I was the last one on the water the last day of practice. It was snowing about 5 inches, and I got
Mm.
off about 3 inches, 4 inches into the storm." And he said, "The only boat left in the parking lot was that man right there." So I go up on stage and I weigh my fish in and I jump from, like 14th to 5th in my very first Bassmaster Open.
right.
And they say on the mic, they said, "What are you going to do with this money? You just got 5th in a Bassmaster Open." And I said, "Well, my mortgage is due tomorrow."
Yeah. Well,
So in other words, what you're saying is, if your mortgage is due,
he's going
chances
to make
are
a
you're
pay.
into big money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you, I mean, the best way that I say that you can make it back to the classic is for
Win
you
another
just
one.
it's just for you just to
Yeah.
hold the Ray Scott Trophy up here on the 15th. So,
Exactly.
True.
we and then you don't have to worry about it the rest of the year. You just go out and
Exactly.
and do your thing. So, but
Exactly. That's what I wanted to do down at Kissimmee, dang it.
well, what in Texas? What lake are you fishing in Texas?
Sam Rayburn next week.
Sam Rayburn.
Yeah, big
So
Sam.
that hopefully the wind's not blowing on you, because I know when we were
Yeah,
down there for the classic last year, man, that wind was brutal. They had like
yeah.
50, 60-mile-an-hour winds that I don't know how. I think Trey McKinney even sunk his boat at the ramp. So,
Yeah,
so
it's last year's Open there was just a 1 day event. It was so bad.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
what is your goals? Let's say within the next 5 years. Do you have goals that you have set for the next 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I definitely want. I mean, goal number one would be to make it to the Elite Series. That's always the goal. You know, coming into this, I had a choice of what league I really wanted to go after,
Right.
and the childhood dream was always Bassmaster. So, um, I want to keep trying until I make it to the elites, and then once I make it to the elites, stay in the elites.
Yeah.
And then talk and tackle, just growing the business, making sure Greg and Tanner are taken care of. And hopefully, wishing I was fishing, have Tanner take over that completely once I'm on the Elite Series. So that's kind of like the 5 year plan.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, that would be awesome. And
Yeah.
I I'm so stoked and I'm proud of y'all. And I mean, especially you, Dylan. And I've known that I can't tell you how many years that we've known each other,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
it's just and it's been it's an honor to when I seen that up there at Chesapeake and you was winning. I mean, as soon as it was over and I seen you holding the trophy, the first thing in my mind is I'm interviewing him on the media day, and so because I mean it's not that often that you even have somebody that's somewhat local to
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
to be able that's going to the
Yeah.
classic and we're so happy for you and
I'm
I
so
would love
can't wait.
I'll just say this we have a pretty good count on people that has come to and been on this podcast and that has won tournaments right after, or at least become like Stephen Browning just came in on 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I mean, and he
And I
done his
sat next
thing.
to him last week in registration.
That so um, we I I mean I want to see you win in Texas, but I would much rather see you
Same.
hold that Ray Scott trophy up. That's
I
going to be
agree.
something. But if you are able to hold that Ray Scott trophy up, what would that mean to you and your family?
Whew. Man, it would be a lot of tears. A lot of tears. My whole family, you would see about 30 people run up on stage and bombard the stage with no questions asked at all. Um, oh God, it would just mean the world to me for sure. It would all dreams would come true, and I would definitely my brothers would be so pumped up.
Yeah,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
that is definitely. I mean, that's something that I couldn't even imagine. Just the excitement of coming in on that last day, knowing that
You have a
I have a
chance.
shot. That I have a
Yeah.
shot. That's all you can ask for is on that
That's
last
it.
day. Just give me a shot. That's all I
Yep.
would want. Um,
That's all I want.
but is there a lake that you're fishing this year that you are looking forward to fishing?
Um, I mean, I look at them all as pretty much the same excitement. Um, I would have said this past one, Kissimmee, would have been my number one for the year, just because I love Florida, love grass fishing. That cold front, in practice, after day two of practice, my ideas were really there. I think I could have caught the biggest bag of my entire life on day two of practice. I kind of figured they weren't going to be there, so I set the hook on three of them. I caught two 7-pounders and a five.
Mm,
Uh,
Mm.
but I had like 6 or 7 of those exact bites.
right.
Mm.
So
Man,
I think it was lining up. It was 2 days away from just being, but everyone would have smashed them.
right.
I mean, you would have had to have 20 pounds to 20 pounds a day to even make a check. It was
Man,
that good. I mean, I had 60, 70 bites on day one of practice. Like it was
Wow,
insane. Um,
man.
but yeah, Kissimmee. But I always like to pick out the new lakes. So lakes I haven't been to before. There's one in North Carolina this year. I would say probably that one because that's one I haven't been to. Lake Erie. I've never been to Erie, so I would probably pick that one too. Whatever the newer lakes on the schedule, because you go in there with the
Right.
clean slate. You have no
No
history,
memory. Yeah, no memory
yeah.
of it.
And that's what
Yeah.
happened in Upper Chesapeake. I had no memory there, no bad habits. Um, So I think for the further of my career, I would always pick a lake that I've never been on.
Is that North Carolina? Is that a tidal fishery?
No, no, landlocked lake. So,
Yeah, I
but they're
couldn't
big.
remember where exactly because I knew. I think they're
Norton or not North Fork. That was Arkansas. Something with an N. I always pick one turn. So everyone always asks me like, "What's your schedule? What's your schedule like? Where are you going?" And I'm like, I only know the next one.
right
I
now. Do
don't.
you?
I don't look at the one past. I only look at the next one.
Yeah. Right.
So when, like, let's say for Texas, when do you start preparing for Texas? And like, are you looking at? Uh, are you just looking at maps, as in Google Earth? Or are you what? How are you preparing for? Because like, I mean, it's pretty much you have a week and a half before you're back out on it again. So how are
Yeah.
you preparing yourself?
I mean, this morning I opened the shop right away, turn on the big TV and talk tackle, and basically from 5:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. is like my time every day. I open the shop every day, and when I'm home, and that's like my time. So I watch all my YouTube stuff. When I drink, 2 or 3 cups of coffee as I sit down, and I just watch every single YouTube video on that body of water. Then at night, um, like once I'm off here, I'll go get dinner, come back, and then just do map study. Just look at drains this time of year. Just on my Minn Kota app on my phone. I'll put waypoints on the best looking drains, and I might mark 5 or 6 tonight. I probably marked 10 last night. Yeah, so then when I show up there, I just transfer these waypoints to my graph, um, and then I will go scan all those drains and hopefully find a couple groups of fish.
Oh heck yeah! Now we got
So that kind of sounds like and that's what I was going to ask and Colin, but so you do a lot of online map studying on
Oh,
each body of
tons.
water, even whether you know them or not, or is this just on pieces of body of water that you don't know?
No, every single lake. Absolutely.
Yeah,
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 every
because you
single
can
lake.
never know a piece of area enough,
No,
and
and
and I
there's so many different maps out there. Like I love
yeah
looking at Lowrance maps and Humminbird maps and Garmin maps, and Garmin has 15 different maps on
right.
every body of water. Like it takes
yeah
weeks to study all the Garmin maps. So
Yeah.
yeah
it's a lot of fun.
So
yeah yeah
well, we've had you on for over an hour, and I know that you're probably just coming in and you're ready to get something to eat because I know this fat boy is. But um, so we got two more questions, and um, but the question that I have for the people, and let's just say on Chickamauga, um, if they are wanting to go out and have the best opportunity to be able to catch fish, it don't have to be big fish, but just catch fish. How would they go about it, and what would be the bait that they need to be using?
Oh, easy. All winter long, follow the seagulls, throw an 1/8 ounce guppy head with a 2.8-inch Kitech, and you'll catch every species in the lake, and you'll catch tons of bass.
Yep. So
10 pound braid to 8 pound leader, or the 12 pound cast X12 braid, so you can get a little bit further cast, actually a lot of bit further cast, to just like an 8 or 10 pound leader, and then that 1/8 ounce guppy head to 2.8 Kitech.
heck yeah. So,
Hmm.
but I guess I kind of lied to you. Or can we get another video of you doing a live with you showing the forward facing sonar when here sometime soon? Because that's one thing that kind of helped me out when I first was got my forward facing sonar, was actually watching the videos and stuff that you had done to actually kind of point out this is what you're looking for and stuff like that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, we got one last question. I think we have actually asked this question to you before when we had you and the boys on the podcast before at the pizza shop there in Hixson.
Yep.
But Pappy, you want to ask the last question, brother?
Absolutely, be my honor, and thank you again, Dillon, for being on the show with us. And man, I can't wait. I can't wait till March gets here and you're hoisting up that trophy, because I know as soon as you do, you're gonna be back on the show, and we're gonna keep this ball rolling. But if you had one person that you could fish with, whether they be here or with us or not, who would that person be and why?
Oh, my Pepe, for sure. My Pepe, we were actually just looking at, or my mom was showing me pictures the other day. And he is definitely the first man that took me into bass fishing. I was still in diapers. I remember that. He passed away when I was pretty young. But he definitely took me. My dad was a giant saltwater fisherman, a giant bluefin tuna fisherman,
Wow.
and caught a bunch of tuna with my dad. Love tuna fishing. Still a huge desire in my heart, but my Pepe is the one that really gave me the bass fishing love.
So before we leave, I've got to ask you. You know, they got that TV show. Was it tuna fishing or bluefin or something like that? So are them things really that hard to reel in?
Oh yeah.
Or-
Yep. My dad's best day ever. He landed a 1,100 pound bluefin and an 800 pound bluefin in the same day. Yeah.
That I know that looked nice going into the bank account though.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
without a doubt.
But and Dillon, thank you so much for coming on, brother. And
Thank you guys.
we hope the best for you this year. Let's just think big. Let's go to Texas and clean house down there. Then go to Knoxville. Let's clean house in Knoxville, and then at the end of the year, why not just hold up the AOI? So let's just think big and have big dreams, and big things will happen. So, but Dillon, thank you so much, and we are looking forward to March 12th because you're going to be the first person that I'm going to do an interview, and with that we actually have something that we're wanting to give you, that we do for our Salute to Valor and stuff. So we actually I got it right here. There it is. So we have we have challenge coins.
Yeah.
Well, we have coins that we had made and stuff. So we definitely want to get you one. So
the only thing we got to teach you is we got to teach him how to hand it off right.
Well,
You know,
that's the
Yeah.
reason.
you know just as well as I do. There's a certain way you got to hand it to you,
Yeah,
vet, and they'll
Dang.
pick you apart if you don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we're probably gonna let Pappy do that one. So,
All right, sounds
so,
good.
but man, brother, thank you again, and
Absolutely.
we appreciate you and all the guys there at Talk and Tackle, and
Yeah.
I mean, because they've helped us out. Can you real quick? I've got the links in the description, but can you tell people how they can follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. For all my tournament stuff, I post everything on my Facebook page, Dillon Falardeau. But then also I share everything to Talk and Tackle. So Talk and Tackle has all the live videos, all my tournament updates, all the guide service stuff, and even like all my wishing I was fishing stuff. You can contact through Talk and Tackle.
Yeah,
But mostly, the guide stuff is posted on Wishing I Was Fishing, but it's shared through Talk and Tackle. So if you just follow Talk and Tackle, you'll be able to get it all.
yeah. And so,
Awesome.
and in the description, guys, there is a link to the Talk and Tackle, Wishing I Was Fishing, and then Dylan's social media. So make sure you go and click on those links. Follow him and Talk and Tackle and Wishing I Was Fishing. And if you're ever coming into the Chattanooga area and you're wanting to go out on Chickamauga and have an opportunity to be able to catch that trophy bass, this gentleman here is the gentleman that I would strongly suggest that you hop on the boat with.
Yeah,
So, but other than that, guys, we're going to get off here. Next week, we actually have the traveling fisherman. And so he is down in Florida. So he's going to talk to us about fishing in Alaska. He's been from Alaska down to Missouri. Then now he's down into Florida. So we're going to talk to him about that. But and then after that, we've got Brian Bacca coming on. So, but we hope that you have a blessed day. And guys, remember that God loves you as if you were the only person in this world to love. And we will see you out on the water, guys.
See you.